You know, in the software world, we spend a ton of time talking about the end user. But what about the person who manages all those users? Today, we're going to go behind the scenes on a B2B platform that did something kind of radical. It put the supervisor front and center. It's a really cool look at not just what they build, but the powerful why behind every single design choice.
And that's Jeff, the creator of the product. He just nails a really important point right off the bat. Yeah, the driver's on the front lines, but the supervisor? They're the ones running the entire show. Their experience is absolutely critical, and that's the side of the platform we're diving into today.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet the user we're actually designing for. Then we'll get into the #1 most important rule they followed. After that, we'll see the dashboard in action, peek behind the curtain at some of the technical magic, and then zoom out to see how it all fits into the big picture.
All right, so let's start with the most important question of all. Who is this for? I want you to picture being a fleet supervisor for a minute. Your whole world is a constant juggle of vehicles, drivers, and just this tidal wave of data. It's super complex, and the stakes are really high.
Now, this is the crucial piece of the puzzle. These supervisors, they already have a digital home base. They spend their entire day inside this one specific software called MyGeotab. This isn't just some tool they use, it's their command center. And that one simple fact changes absolutely everything about how you should build for them.
And that brings us to the single most important design principle for this entire project, the golden rule. The goal wasn't just to add more features. It was to do it without messing up the user's existing flow, to cause zero workflow disruption.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? On the left, you've got the wrong way to do it. Build a completely separate app. That means another login, another window to juggle. It's just context switching and headaches that lead to people just not using your tool. But on the right, that's the smart path they took. They embedded everything inside the tool the supervisor already lives in. It's not a new app, it's just a new tab. It's seamless, it's simple, and it's brilliant.
So what does this seamless new dashboard actually do? Well, it gives the supervisor two really key views, and both of them are totally focused on one thing: efficiency.
First up, you've got the live coaching feed. Think of this like a bird's-eye view of your fleet, updated in real time. Supervisors can see coaching sessions as they're happening, get a feel for what's going on out there, all without having to jump in and interrupt anyone's day. It's just pure visibility.
And the second view, and honestly, this is probably the most critical part, is the action queue. You can think of it like a super smart inbox, but instead of emails, it only gets filled with the tricky situations, the edge cases that the automated system says, hey, a human needs to look at this. This is the official handoff from the machine to the expert. So let's dig into that action queue, because it is so much more than just the list. It's a decision-making engine. Its real power comes from giving the supervisor complete and total context for every single item that lands in it.
And the context they get is just everything. The supervisor doesn't have to go digging around in different systems. It's all right there. They get the full transcript, the exact safety flags that were triggered, all the raw data, and even a quick summary generated by AI. It's all there in one spot.
And the result of all that? The supervisor can just act. They can approve it, deny it, add their own notes, and move on to the next thing. The system gives them everything they need to make a fast, informed decision. Now, you know, making something feel this simple, this effortless, is rarely easy. It took some serious technical problem solving to make it happen. So let's pull back the curtain for a second and look at the engineering that makes this whole seamless experience possible.
Okay, so challenge number 1. MyGeotab loads these add-ins inside what's called an iframe. And for security, that iframe just throws away all the styling information, so the add-in would show up looking completely broken. The solution? Super clever. They use JavaScript to basically rebuild the design by injecting all the styles after the page loads.
Next challenge was pretty similar. That same secure iframe also blocks modern JavaScript from loading the normal way. So the fix here was to bundle the entire application into one single self-contained package. It's called an IIFE that could sneak past the security checks and run perfectly.
And finally, the biggest magic trick of them all, authentication. How do you log a user in without ever asking them for a password? Well, it's this custom 3-step dance. Step 1, the add-in quietly grabs the supervisor's existing login session. Step 2, the backend instantly checks with the Geotab API to make sure that session is legit. And step 3, it swaps that verified session for a brand new, secure token to access all the coaching data. The user sees none of it. For them, it just works.
So, we've seen how supervisors can manage all those little individual coaching events. But what about zooming out?
How is the whole fleet doing over time? Well, that's where the final piece of the puzzle comes in.
And that piece is the Fleet Analytics tab. This is where you go from the nitty-gritty to the big picture. You can see safety trends, you can see driver leaderboards, all the key metrics that matter to the business, all pulled in through a direct data connection. This is what links those day-to-day moments to the long-term business goals.
And this quote from Jeff really just ties it all together perfectly. The system is a partnership. The AI handles the 95% of routine stuff, which frees up the human supervisors to use their expertise on that tricky 5% of exceptions. The dashboard is just the bridge that makes that handoff totally clean.
And that's really the promise, isn't it? Full context, immediate access, and absolutely no extra steps. It's a masterclass in designing with respect for the user's time and their workflow.
So that leaves us with this final, much bigger question. I mean, we just looked at one very specific tool for one specific user, but the idea behind it is universal. It really makes you wonder, what would our work lives look like if every piece of software we had to use was designed not just to pile on more features, but to actually respect our workflow? What would change if every tool just met us where we are?